I think I had some like kind of small talk thing to start today's conversation, but
Today is actually National Fried Chicken Day.
oh shit, really?
Yeah.
I saw Mary Brown said if you buy, there's a deal today. If you buy it, you enter into a contest to win one of multiple fried chicken for a year giveaways. Mary Brown should pay for that premium real estate ad spot right there.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. Have you ever seen someone claim that they've won this?
That's the thing. I don't think Mary Brown would scam like that though.
I think they would.
Do you know how to fix that?
Oh, blockchain.
NFTs.
Don't tell me. Yeah.
Mary Brown's is a Canadian chain, by the way. So just for the American listeners, it's some good ass chicken.
It's good chicken. I know Lewis is going to try to clown on it, but it's good chicken.
It used to be incredible. It used to be the absolute best chicken you could get, and the quality took a nosedive.
Inflation.
An absolute nosedive. Popeyes, in terms of fried chicken sandwiches in fast food restaurants, definitely takes the cake.
So you're not missing anything, American listeners.
You're not missing much, but Lee and Storm, I don't know about Storm. I don't know if you said it, but Lee is claiming that it's just as good as it used to be. So
I think you could have had a couple of like fluky experiences because like with food that's always, I mean, I've been to McDonald's a few times and had a Big Mac that tasted like shit. Overcooked, dry bun, low sauce. Doesn't mean that the Big Mac's lost its, I mean, it has, but doesn't mean that's not why.
What I mean though is that like what was bad about the McDonald's, because for me, what it was horrible about the Big Mary, it was the chicken itself was bad.
But like what bad how? Not crispy?
Not crispy, not thick.
Yeah, so that you could have got a bad breast because breasts come in all sorts of shapes and sizes.
They just were not good though.
And then you got like a not crispy batch. That happens.
It felt like different chicken.
I think you got to forgive chicken more often. I think everybody needs to forgive chicken more often.
Forgive chicken
People
more
always
often.
say chicken's dry or it stinks or, you know, it's not seasoned enough, you know. I think
I've never heard of stinky chicken before.
No? Have you ever
No.
cooked chicken and then like just like not like the smell of it? Like raw
No.
chicken? I love the smell of beef. I don't like the smell of chicken personally when I cook it. Like I don't
Oh,
like
really? I do like
yeah.
the smell of chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird. Maybe it's like a
But usually it's like kind of just like a mask. Like it's just that meaty smell that comes and then it like
of raw flesh.
Well, it accompanies the spices you put on it, unless you.
No, I'm saying before I spice it. Like that when it
You
comes.
cook before you spice
No. When I'm handling it. When I handle raw chicken, I don't like the smell of it.
Oh, fair. Yeah,
It smells gross.
That is gross. Yeah.
Once you season it, it doesn't smell like chicken anymore.
Some people don't ever season it though. That's something that I can't defend.
And I can't forgive that.
I can't defend my race for that, and I'm sorry to all our listeners out there who are not white. But yeah, there's a lot of people who are not seasoning their meat.
Okay, well, should we get started with the podcast then, guys, or what?
Yes.
Let's do it.
All right, well, welcome to the Fast Forward Podcast. I'm your co-host, Lee.
And I'm your co-host, Lewis, and welcome to the fastest growing Canadian tech podcast there is.
In the universe.
In the universe.
This week, we're going to be talking about a bar that monitors the stock market and Ty Lopez hijacking RadioShack.
We're also going to be talking about bladders, geofencing, and we're going to be rewinding to the good old days.
Don't we always rewind to the good old days?
Sometimes they're not that good.
Yeah, but pre-technology, there's pretty dark times. Right?
Oh, yeah.
We always
Sometimes
talk about
good
tech.
time, you know, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of things. But anyway, let's roll that intro.
All right. Damn it.
Did you guys just freestyle that, by the way?
Yeah.
What?
The intro?
Did you write one?
No, I never do. I always leave it for you guys.
Yeah, we
but
freestyled that.
I love the freestyle. It was good.
All right, thanks. Yeah, we just try to wing it, you know. And Lewis doesn't know what I'm going to say, so I always put him in a tough spot because he's just like, we're going to talk about bladders and geofencing. He doesn't know. You know what I mean? I took his Dow Jones thing. But anyway, where do we want to start? Because there's no particular order here.
Well, let's just start off with something that's just kind of cool, Lee. I'd like to get your opinion on this. Now, if you want, you can check out the TikTok on it. But I'll just kind of quickly tell you about this. So there's a Barcelona, in Barcelona, there's a stock market themed Dow Jones bar where the prices of drinks are based on their popularity. So the more popular they are, the more they cost, and then the lower cost they are, if they're not popular, the lower cost they are. I thought this is a really cool gimmick because there's just so much you can do. A lot of insider trading you could do.
Yeah.
I just had an interesting idea to go around the bar saying a drink sucks so much that you should never get it, so you can get that drink
Yeah.
for cheaper.
I heard there's piss in the mojitos, guys. don't get the
If you
mojito.
click on that TikTok right there, Lee.
I watched it.
Oh yeah, you've watched it already. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's really cool. The whole theme of the place, it's like a stock market themed bar, and it has like all the like the screens you would see at the New York Stock Exchange.
Yeah.
And a ticker is like around the bar, like around the walls in the bar. There's like a ticker. I was thinking like it's a stock market, but it's for cocktails.
Yeah.
So you could call it like cock market.
Oh.
I couldn't do that. I tried to act. Yeah. I can't keep a straight face.
That was good. That was good. I thought it was a really cool, and I mean, I feel like with bars, people are just so used to, like we were talking about the Irish pub and that box.
The same old, same old.
Same old, same old. There's nothing fun. There's no gimmicks to it. Some I feel like was really cool when, like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, is you'd go to the breweries and they had the, the board games and such. That was really cool. But like that's so overdone now.
Now it's like the thing. It's
now,
like the hipster. You know, it's like kind of busted furniture and like kind of this like random aesthetic.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought this was a really cool idea, and yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'd be curious to see how they do like performance wise, because the idea of gamifying drinks, like, do people now buy drinks to play the game of like trying to crash the stock market? Because I think if everyone buys drinks at once, it crashes the market, and then the prices go down.
Yeah.
So people might be like, "Yo, let's buy more drinks so that we can crash it, and the price will go down." But ultimately, they end up having to buy more drinks and then even more drinks because the payoff is getting them for cheap.
Well, what's funny is that. Did you see that they do crashes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just so cool.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the bar must make good money because it's getting all the customers to buy a lot of drinks to get it to crash. And then once it crashes, those same customers have to benefit from their hard work. So they're buying even more drinks.
It might be.
So I think the ticket price, like the average drink in a normal bar might be 3 drinks per person. Maybe at this bar, it's like 5.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I wonder too if, with like the way that I wonder if they're going through more, like if this is a good way to incentivize people to go through old inventory too.
Yeah. So they probably never have to deal with waste. Like, let's say the limes are going bad. It's like every drink with a lime, like on the stock market, like drop it down in price. That real time market stuff, like that gets me like honestly like aroused. Like I love that shit. Canada should have, like, Toronto should have a bar like that.
Yeah.
Like it would kill. I feel like.
Yeah, it would be really cool. I mean, just finding any kind of gimmick.
Even New York, because like New York's where that's the New York Stock Exchange is.
Yeah.
And this one was in Barcelona. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It should be in New York.
Yeah.
What else would you apply this to? Like ice cream place maybe or something, or like what else could you apply it to?
Oh, maybe like music or something. Yeah, like imagine a platform where like you could listen to stuff, but the more people that were listening to it, increased prices. So it made you want to listen to like more indie stuff because it was getting expensive to listen to the mainstream shit.
I thought,
Fashion, like clothes. Like I feel like in a way H&M does that. Like fast fashion does that, where like the stuff goes out of sale, then it's like clearance.
Yeah.
But imagine if all the products were just like constantly moving in price.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a way
Or
to
gaming.
Yeah.
Imagine you had a way to like constantly watch the price of games.
That's
up.
true.
It's a little.
Yeah. Almost like if it's in a grocery store or something.
Yeah. I guess what I'll say is this concept, gamifying a bar, I think could be done in multiple different ways. And I think there should be more themed game bars like this, because bars are kind of boring. And I don't know, like maybe it's just me, I'm boring, but getting lit alone is not enough.
No.
It's not.
No.
I need to be like inspired to get lit.
Yeah. You need like a new concept, right? A
Yeah.
lot of places could have new concepts instead of the same ones.
You make friends with people too, because if they're pumping up the price of your drink, be like, no, stop ordering mojitos. Like, I'm trying to get one for cheap. What are you doing?
Becomes a community.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, Lewis. New concepts are, they're hit or miss. And speaking of a concept that's actually a huge hit, this game, I think it's been out for like 2 years. Guys, you'll never believe this footage. I dare you guys to watch this footage and not smile. Okay, I'm gonna send you guys a quick message right now.
So I have zero idea. I haven't seen this at all.
Yeah, so watch this footage, okay, and tell me what you guys think.
I think I saw this one on Twitter. This is where you're in the store, right?
Yeah, so this is a game called Hypercharge. It's going absolutely bananas. It's been out for like 2 years. It was made by like 5 indie developers, and it didn't get off the ground really till recently. And now it's like it just had an exclusive deal with Xbox. It's totally crushing it. But like, look at the gameplay.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now.
It's like Toy Story.
It's like Toy Story. You're like a miniature character
remember Toy Story 2 when Buzz Lightyear, or when they all are in the toy store and they like go through the different aisles and they see all the toys, like
looking for like Buzz Lightyear's like
the real Buzz Lightyear.
Real Buzz Lightyear,
or
yeah.
I think so. I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This game, there's something like weirdly fascinating about being a miniature character, like being small in a big world. Like something about that is awesome. And then also being in like a toy store
Yeah.
is like, see, the thing is they tapped into nostalgia that wasn't theirs. The first thing anybody has said is Toy Story when they watch this, but they don't own that IP.
No, I think what just makes it is what I just find so funny is it shows how art can really dictate the like this might be the new Fortnite.
Literally. Like
I think what's crazy about this is that it's kind of like, if you think about it, right? If this was all like just boxes and shapes, this would be very similar to Call of Duty. But because the art direction chose to go in this direction, it also looks like there's a tower defense component to it too. But wow, just so cool, the aesthetic. Aesthetic really can make or break something.
Well, here's the thing. I think people are so played out of the like army
Modern
game
shooter
where you're like getting into a tank and there's grass and trees and buildings. Even Fortnite, even though it's a new spin, it is still that. It's buildings and guns. This, it's like all the things that we see in our everyday life, like a shopping cart or a cupboard or a sandbox. All these things become like new ideas that we can play with.
Yeah.
And normally these things are too small to make sense in a normal game. Like we would see the same cupboards in Fortnite in a kitchen.
Yeah.
But now that we are 10 times smaller, they have like this new interesting element to them. Right? Like just imagine playing that in our office.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like how cool like an office building, which is like, you know, kind of mundane and boring. How cool that would be. Like if you're like hiding behind a printer.
This is what you gotta love about indie game studios, is because they don't have the high budgets or high investments apart from just the love of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
They can like take chances on making breakout hits like this, or like Among Us, or like Fall Guys, any of these games that have seen a huge amount of success with small studios, versus something like Fortnite or League of Legends, where like if they invest into a game, they need to see a huge return on it. So
honestly, this game looks like pretty close to AAA. Like the aesthetic and shit, and like just the level of depth in the scenes. I don't know how big these maps are, but they seem very like
they look pretty big. Yeah, I think I mean, I think we can thank the Unreal Engine for that. I think this is built in the Unreal Engine, and Lee and I know a little bit about that because we were working on a project on that.
Where can you play it right now?
So you can play it on I think it's actually on sale right now. Again, another ad.
Oh,
here.
it's on
Steam.
It's on Steam. Yeah, 15% off on Steam.
How much?
Let's see. It is.
It's not free though.
20 bones.
Okay,
$20.
that's not bad.
And honestly, I think this game could become like the next Fortnite. Like I don't play video games anymore, but when I watch this footage, I want to play.
Yeah.
I want to like get on, you know, multiplayer with my friends and be like, "Yo guys, get behind the, you know, the bucket, the water bucket or something." You know what I mean? Like the fact that some of these like small random things could be, it just changes the whole landscape of the game.
Do you think a price tag makes it not being able to reach Fortnite heights?
Well, I think right now the game's the format of the game, it costs money, but I think with the right scale, they could certainly become like a Fortnite freemium game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what Rocket League did actually. They costed money at first, made a whole lot of money that way. Then they went free to play, and then are making a lot more money there too.
Because they grew even more.
Such
a cool game though, eh?
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. There's nothing more fun than playing some games with your friends that are just like, that's why Rocket League has been really popular at the office, is because we all like, not only are we versing each other, but we're also like collaborating. Like co-op is so fun. So props to the developers there who made that. Hypercharge Unboxed. Check that out, guys, on Steam. And you said it was on Xbox?
Yeah, I think it's coming to Xbox as an exclusive. So I think Xbox like inked a partnership with them recently because of all the hype.
Nice.
And now they're gonna like, I mean, that's a big payday to get
hell yeah, from
Xbox
Microsoft. Yeah. They got lots of money, man. So props to them.
And when your team's only like 5 developers, jeez. Like, I mean, imagine it's a huge studio. It's totally different than if it's like a group of like, you know, 5 guys that made the game.
How much do you think it's? Do you think it would cost? Do you think Microsoft spent more than, I don't know, 110K on it?
Definitely.
Well, good news for you then, because for $110,000, you can go on a Disney Park World Tour.
How is that a good deal? $110,000. Couldn't I just like individually secure tickets and flights to all of them for less?
Well, here, listen to this. So Disney has announced a new bucket list adventure abroad, a private jet for 75 ultimate fans. An around-the-world trip spanning 24 days, 6 countries, all 12 Disney theme parks worldwide, and other destinations, all for the low starting price of $110K.
Low starting price.
Yeah, so you get like a private jet, or not a private jet, but a private flight. You get your food accommodated. Your everything's accommodated for you for 100.
So it's a whole experience.
Yes.
How long is the world tour? Did you say that? How long it goes on for?
24 days.
24 days.
It is a private jet. You corrected yourself, but it is a private jet.
Oh, okay,
so even
cool.
to private jet yourself around the world.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
You know what? So $110,000 divided by the 24 days. What does that work out to?
6 countries, 12 parks.
$4,500 a day. Is it $110,000 per person, or is it like $110,000 for like a family?
Well, I would assume per person because it's 75 only.
Yeah, per person.
Have Disney adults gone too far?
75 people are going to go on this world tour?
Anaheim, San Francisco, Tokyo, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Agra, Cairo, Paris, and Orlando. So, do you know what I find really funny with this? Is, and I just wrote my thoughts here, is that this is literally the definition of globalization. Although every park will be able to introduce something somewhat different, going to different countries for the Disney experience is like going to Disney, or it's like going to different countries to eat the McDonald's. Disney adults will swallow this one up. So if you're rich and a Disney adult, you're going to, this is a dream come true.
Oh, yeah. Disney adults are crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They're like absolute fanatics. And here's the thing. Only 75? I don't know. There's a bigger market than that. They're probably going to do it multiple times. That's only $8.2 million.
Well, I'm thinking like they probably have done the research. They've seen the niche. It's like, all right, rich, like very rich, right? Because this is $100,000.
These are multimillionaires that would do
Yeah,
this.
multimillionaire.
Or
Disney
somebody with bad
adults.
priorities. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine? Like, they're all rich people, and then there's like this one lady that sold her house
Yeah.
because she's such a
Yeah.
Disney fanatic. She's like,
Yeah.
well, the market was up, and I took
know-
all my equity out.
You know that meme where it's like dinner with Jay-Z or $50,000.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it is. It's like freaking $100,000 or a Disney adult
Or dinner with
trip.
your family. It's like, I won't feed my kids.
Yeah. What do you think, though, Lee? Would you do you think $110,000 is worth something like this?
Here's my hot take. I think you've heard me bitch about Disney before, right? So I actually don't think Disney's even worth the $8,000 or $10,000 it costs to bring your family.
Oh, like to the park, like in
period.
Orlando.
Period.
Okay.
Yeah, and my reason is it's just way too much dopamine in such a short period of time, and it's just like too much joy. It's like type 1 fun. Type 1 fun is just like you walk in and then you just have fun.
Like type 1 diabetes?
I wouldn't say that there's any parallels. No.
Okay. Sound like it.
Type 2 fun is like fun that is like hard work, but then it's like still enjoyable. It's like going on a hike up a mountain or whatever else. I think taking your kids to Disney is just like such an overwhelm of like awesomeness. It's probably not good for their brains. You know what I mean? I mean, again, I've never been, so this is just me. And I know you've been to Disney, so you loved it. So obviously we're going to be on opposing sides of the fences here. But just like creating that kind of standard for an experience seems like everything else will fall short. Because the way people describe Disney to me is that it's like a magical place where everything is perfect and it's like full of joy, constant stimulation. And I don't know. I feel like just doing that for a week straight just like burns out a part of your brain.
No, I
Just
disagree.
doing it for 24 days, I just feel like that's so much.
Oh, for 24 days, that is like.
But even for a
to
week,
me, anywhere. Like if I go anywhere for 24 days,
that's a lot.
I'm like even for like a week, I'm kind of like I'm like this better wrap up soon, right? But for like Disney, I loved it when I was young, and there was just it's literally a city inside. Like I don't know why Orlando just renames itself to Disney World because it's massive.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. It was honestly really good. I would definitely go again.
But did Disney make everything after Disney disappointing?
No,
it didn't.
No, absolutely not.
Other trips you went to, other places.
Nope.
Things in life have not become less enjoyable.
No,
no,
I would not say so. I mean, the way you got to see it is that like maybe if you're going to Disney, you're going to like cruise ships, you're going to different countries all in the span of 1 year, then like you're just kind of like you've almost spoiled yourself a little bit. It's more so the quantity of trips you're going on, not the quality of one, right?
Okay.
It's a different experience, I guess. I mean, I will agree with you. It's very expensive, and they find every single way to milk that freaking dollar out of you, right? Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But I mean, it's definitely worth it if you're a kid. Like long year school, just go to Disney.
It feels like too much fun to give my children. That's my just like
Sets the bar too high.
Well, it's just I don't know. I want them to suffer more.
Well, how about this? After every ride, you have to give them 10 lashes to the wrist.
Or push-ups or something like that.
Kids suffer, man, because they have to wait like an hour for some rides. It's like a patience thing.
True. Is that what it's like? Is there like a good amount of suffering in there? Or?
I mean, you just get tired at the end of the day, and you also like you do have to wait in a lot of lines.
All right.
Lots of.
All right,
what do you mean by suffering here?
It
depends on what kind of suffering. Like, do you want to traumatize them?
No, just like not have too much joy.
Oh,
yeah. Just like moderate the amount of joy my children have.
Yeah. We don't
when
like
they're
kids
young.
having fun. Yeah.
No, I mean, not too much.
Take away their
I always
kids.
tell Kayla, like, I'd rather take my kid to the park 50 times in a year than go to Disneyland twice. Because it's just like more like consistently balanced.
Yeah.
So what's the most fun thing you've let them do?
So
10 push-ups.
periodically we'll do like things like go to the zoo or the aquarium and things like that. And I think those are like, to me, those are more valuable per dollar.
Sure.
Than like just like all in on this like 1 week where like the stakes are high and we have to all have fun and like someone gets sick and then it's like, oh no, we spent 10 grand and Kayla has the stomach flu and Valen's puking, like I don't know.
I mean, at the end of the day, money, what is money worth, right?
Like, dollar for dollar, what it's
dollar
worth.
for dollar. Like what? It's not.
Maybe one day when I'm like super popping and like I can just like, who cares? I spent 10 grand on this trip, whatever. But today, no.
My take on this trip is that they actually just drugged the 75 people and brought them to Epcot, because in Epcot they have a mini world there. And they just kind of blindfold them, and they open the blindfold, and you're in the Shanghai
They
one.
go on a private jet, but it's just a ride at Disney.
Yeah,
just
Dude,
like,
that is that's like Truman Show level shit. Dude, you know what would be awesome if they like made this like a reality show in disguise?
oh, so none of them knew that they were on a reality TV show, and then they would just try to they got fucked with the whole time.
Yeah, 75 Disney adults like.
And like who else? Like who remains at the end? It's like a Survivor level show. They don't even
Willy
realize
Wonka.
it. Yeah.
Winner gets the park.
Winner. Oh my god.
Or no, I was thinking like what you do is like each place you go, you like add one thing that's going to traumatize them a little bit to not want to like Disney, and the last person that still is a Disney fan at the end of all the messed up things they saw is the winner, is the true Disney fan. That's who gets the park.
Yeah. Maybe there's like a policy that they get a refund if they don't have fun or like whatever, and the last person to not redeem that because it's such a shitty experience gets the park. What a cool concept, eh? Like if Disney ever did that, like they sold like some stupid plush toy and they're like, in these plush toys there's gonna be a golden ticket, winner gets Disneyland.
Yeah.
Because Disneyland's like just sucking, and like the state of Florida is like about to impose a bunch of tax. Like this is actually happening.
Yeah.
So the story's unique in that who else could do something like this?
I know, so unique.
What could you even apply
that? Sorry.
What could you apply this to?
I know.
Storm, get back. Don't leave yet, Storm. Don't leave.
No, you're right. There's like only a couple. I mean, there's only one company in the world that could do this. There honestly isn't anybody else.
I think there's two.
Like who else could do it?
Nintendo.
Because they're starting their own parks.
Do they have parks around the world?
They're starting.
They have two now.
Well, I mean, that's not really a world tour. It's like
Well,
it's literally a two-way trip.
No, it's a one. It's like, but you go 360 around the earth if you go to both the places.
Well, planes don't do that, but
Could a band do this maybe? Like Harry Styles or something, bring super fans like around the world with him, or who else could actually apply?
I don't know. Because like if you like are going around the world with Harry Styles, you're just going around the world with Harry Styles.
Yeah.
You know? You're not going to specific
Well, I mean, that already exists. It's called groupies.
Groupies,
groupies. Damn.
True.
You already win.
Well, you know what? Fuck, I don't have a smooth transition to this.
Yeah, I mean,
at a glance, it seems like it's probably not worth the money. But speaking of Glance, this company Glance is coming for your phone's lock screen, and they want to run ads
on your lock screen?
this company wants to run ads on your lock screen. So get this, Google has invested in this company, and so has Peter Thiel, who, if you're familiar, he's like one of the founders of PayPal.
Yeah.
Basically, this company, they've got like funding, and they're working with a number of phones, mostly like Android phones. And the idea is that every time you pick up your phone, you'll see something new, like a new story or a new app or just something different.
Yeah.
That's, again, algorithmically based to who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But then also they'll show you ads. And I guess like 65 times a day we do this. So that's like 65 impressions where do you know what I mean? So this is actually great ad real estate. And they already have our apps. They already have our websites. And really the only place where you have peace is the first second that you look at your phone, because like once you unlock it, you're like in the ads world, and now you won't even have that. Like you're gonna have it on your lock screen.
So I wonder how they're gonna bypass that then with the iOS. Have they said that?
So iOS isn't part of it. They're working with Android. I don't think Apple would ever do it that way.
Yeah.
Apple has spoken about using the lock screen more, but actually their incentives are to make it so you don't have to unlock your phone. So Apple believes that a lot of the time we try to do certain things on our phone, so we have to unlock our phone to do them.
Yeah.
And by the time we unlock the phone, we've already forgotten what it is. Or we unlock the phone. It takes more time to unlock the phone than to do the thing. So like think about using a calculator, right? When you're at the restaurant, you're trying to calculate the tip.
Yeah.
You might spend 5 seconds putting in your password, then you open calculator and you just do a quick math equation.
Mm-hmm.
So things like weather, calculator, tools like that, they're going to start putting on the lock screen, like add a bunch of widgets to it. So it's like a lot more functional. But what do you think about this company Glance trying to do this, like, this hijacking of people's?
Yeah. I think like, kind of like what you're saying, like I like the concept of being able to like already I'm bombarded by notifications, and that's already overwhelming. And that like impulse, you have to just check your phone. Maybe if you feel like a buzz, or you're like, you hear like a sound, like your first is to pick up your phone and look at it. Now I feel like that's going to be exemplified. Like it's going to be like having so many more.
Well, it's like, it makes sense as a business. And again, Google's invested in this because right now no one's even fighting for this space. Yeah. And this company, here, I'll read what they've got. They've got some deals here. So they're working with, 400 million phones have their software built into it. This is including Samsung, and I think it's Xiaomi.
Okay.
Is it Xiaomi?
I don't know.
The XIAOMI. I guess like a big cell phone company in China. So I mean that 400 million phones have their software installed.
Yeah.
That's not.
Oh, I mean the business deal is there for. I mean, I don't gotta explain that though. Like if you got 400 million eyeballs looking at you a month or whatever, like that's huge.
But do you think it's an overreach for companies to start advertising to you before you even open the product?
I think so.
You think it's an overreach?
I think it's an overreach. I mean, of course, people like businesses are going to advertise where they're going to advertise, but I do think, let me just have a look at that screenshot you just sent. Is this an example of?
Yeah, this is artwork from their website. I just sent it to you guys. It shows like games, travel, fun facts, fitness, entertainment. So Glance is trying to like Trojan horse the ads with value. So it's like, it's something that you look at as like being cool, but then every once in a while there'll be sponsored posts.
Yeah.
Which to me is crazy.
You know what? It actually, in this context, it actually makes a little bit more sense. Like it's almost like, I'm trying to think of, it's almost like a dashboard or something.
Yeah, but who are you to? Okay, here's the thing. If I open Facebook, it's a free app. If I see ads, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
If I open YouTube, it's a free app. If I see ads, I'm okay with it. I paid fucking $1,000 or something for this stupid phone, right? The Samsung phone, this trash piece of ass. And then it's look
better than iPhone.
And I look at
specs wise.
Shut up. I look at my screen, and then there's an ad. After I paid for the phone, I haven't opened up a service.
Well, to be fair, this is going to be an app as well, right? Like because it's like customizable on Android, you can just set this as your lock screen.
Okay, so they have a choice.
Yeah, like I one time did this too with Android when I had Android. It was like a minimal one, and it basically much better experience than my iPhone, to be honest. but you had the ability to change it. So I think that's just what's going to do here.
Okay.
And like you
Fair
said,
enough.
it definitely is going to be a Trojan horse. It's like, oh wow, like you're in this location, do this, or here's breaking news, like Boris Johnson, blah blah blah. I think this is it is pretty interesting, but yeah,
It's probably gonna happen. It's just amazing real estate. There's no reason it wouldn't. And right now, lock screens don't do a lot. Like mine literally shows me notifications I can't see, and a picture. Right. Look at me.
If 400 million bones, right? If you got 400 million bones being invested into it,
No, sorry, 400 million
users,
but
they hadn't-
cell
but
phones with the software.
they have investors.
They have investors doing it too. Well, if you think 400 million phones, it's 400 million users. So I think this company's worth like literally $1 billion,
Oh, probably.
right, or more. I also sent a screenshot of what Apple's, kind of this concept looks like, where they've got all
that's
these
cool.
widgets as well. So you can see like activity, for example. This is an easy. People that don't have a watch have to like
Yeah.
open their phone to see their activity. That's kind of silly.
Actually, the activity doesn't show there at all if you don't have a watch.
Oh, true.
But like still, like for me specifically, like if I'm on a run or if I'm going on a bike ride, I have to like open up my watch, click this button, click the activity, like then click the. It'd be
Or
nice to just open
flip
up my
your
phone
and look at it.
see my rings right there.
You're right. So
That's
yeah,
cool. I like that. But I think that company, yeah, it's funny that you say that. It's like Trojan horsing its way in with the value. It's full of shit. But speaking of full of shit, there's something that's going on here in the Hamptons in New York for the rich people. Have you heard of this, Lee?
So I didn't get to dig too deep into the story, but I do see that people are getting like procedures to have better bladders or something.
This is the weirdest surgery I have ever seen. Dr. David Schusterman has been doing 2 medical procedures, one that reduces the size of the prostate and bladder botox. That's what it's called.
Wait. Botox for your bladder?
Botox for your bladder, both of which reduce the number of bathroom breaks his patients take. His biggest clients are rich people who have a hard time holding it on their way to their summer homes in the Hamptons. Talk about first world problems. I don't think, you know how I have like how our TVs are too heavy or our TVs are too big. Like that's something that middle class people could say, right?
Yeah, too many people compliment me on my purse.
Yeah, like I got like. That's just the most ridiculous thing
This week's
ever.
theme is like things we can't afford.
Yeah,
you know?
we really are some
$100,000 trips to world tours for Disney and
I know.
Botox for our bladders. So that
Maybe in the future we can fast forward.
yeah, one day we'll be able to actually fast forward from this clip to that clip.
And the rewind is just our first episode. Oh man, I should have not said that because that would have been a really good twist. Sorry, Yves. All right, so
what's the deal? What are they doing?
So
here?
here's the thing. So that's what that is. And I actually had this funny thing here, Lee, because earlier today we were talking about carb intake. Remember how Kevin O'Leary has a glucose sensor? Was that today or yesterday?
Yeah, it's literally today.
That was today, right?
He was on the Impulsive podcast and he said he has a glucose monitor.
So I thought this was funny because I was like, so we talked about how carbs brings down our productivity by whatever percent it is, 10 to 20%. Well, what if for billionaires, or CEOs, their productivity is going down by 0.5% because of bathroom breaks? Would this be a worthy investment of your time?
Yeah, I guess if you can hold in more pee, you spend less time at the bathroom, you can drink more water. This could be a productivity hack.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Better bladders for better focus.
Don't take the piss on yourself. Better bladder. All right, so so here's a little snippet from the article that I read, and I thought this was very interesting as well. You may be asking yourself, so this is a snippet from the article. You may be asking yourself, what could possibly drive someone to this extreme? Well, according to the urologist, that's what he's called, by the way, urologist.
Yeah, that's a dick doctor or like a vagina doctor, I think.
No, it's like specifically about your urinary tract, and like it's not even about your dick. According to the urologist, to the stars. So like the people with this type of money.
He's the famous urologist. He's the urologist to the stars. They're saying like the
like he is the urologist all the famous people use.
Yeah. Your friendships frequently end over pee stop squabbles, including his own. He told Insider that he's actually lost 3 pals by refusing to stop to let them relieve themselves.
This is evidence right here that when you're in showbiz, none of your friends are real. Mm-hmm. This guy is being dead ass serious that he's lost real friends over bathroom breaks.
Could you imagine like
what the fuck?
Yeah, like you come over to my house and then you're like, oh, just hold that story, Lewis. I just got to go to the bathroom. And then like, I just give you the like cold shoulder the entire rest of the night. I'm like, yeah.
I would,
oh yeah, cool.
I would
cool
literally be
story.
shook. I'd be telling Kayla, yeah, like me and the guys, we went on a road trip, and you know, Lewis didn't want to pull over, and our 3 buddies don't want to be our friends anymore.
Yeah, I literally just like
I'd be-
break out crying. I'm like, listen,
What
man.
kind of
Says he lost 3 pals. Did he lose them like they're no longer friends, or did they like
die?
explode full of piss?
He was doing a urologist test, and he was like drip feeding them liquid through IV while they were passed out,
Drip liquid. Yeah, feeding him drip liquid.
and then didn't let them pee.
We have a natural way of doing that. So this reminded me too, Lee, because in New York in 2016, I could have probably gone for this procedure. Remember that?
Dude, can I tell the story?
Yeah, go for it.
So Lewis, we were going to New York, and let me just paint a picture here. We're driving in a 2-door Civic. There's 5 of us, full-grown men, crammed in it So this is like an 11-hour drive or 14-hour drive to New York. And we get to the tunnels, and before the tunnels, I think Lewis hints at like, "Hey guys, I gotta piss." I think there was a joke made like, "Just get up and go piss." But there was like cops everywhere, and it was massive New York traffic.
It was like, yeah, like we
Nighttime.
had to,
Like, you
because I
getting-
think we had to pass gates, right?
Yes.
So like there was, and we're in an underground tunnel with heat.
So this is before we get to the tunnels, and we're outside, and Lewis has a chance, and we decide, you know what, it doesn't make sense for Lewis to get out of the car, go to the side of the road, and piss. There's like a ton of cars everywhere, every direction. We're like in a 10-lane tunnel entering in, and Lewis decides to hold it. And then we get into this tunnel, and it does not move quickly. So we're driving, but it's just like it took a while to get to Brooklyn or wherever we were headed.
Yeah.
And when we get out, Lewis is literally sweating in the car. Like he's telling us, like, guys, like I seriously can't hold it. I seriously can't hold it. Guys, I gotta go.
It was bad.
The second we get past the first cop that we see at the end of the tunnel, we pull over to this like side street, and we're in the car. Okay, guys, I'm not even exaggerating a tiny bit. Lewis gets out of the car and he runs over to this building. Whoever's house that is, I apologize, because you know in New York that's probably someone's house, right?
Oh yeah.
And Lewis starts peeing, and it sounds like a fucking power washer. Like
Yeah.
we were in the car, like 20 feet away, and we can literally hear, and it didn't stop for a while.
No.
That might have been literally
It was the most painful experience I've ever been through. Like when I remember when Kurt, like we're in the car, Kurt was like, it's like, can you just pee in this bottle? And that's what made me think of it, right? And I was like, dude, if I pee in this bottle, it's gonna go right through this damn freaking water bottle. Like it's gonna put a hole right through it. It's like a power wash.
It's literally, and it's funny because you knew, you had the hindsight
And then-
to know, like, hey, like my piss that I'm about to have is gonna be so powerful.
Well, Kurt was like,
This
why
bo-
can't you just piss in this? Like it was like a bottle, right? Like just like a 250 milliliter
Milliliter.
water bottle, right? And I was like, can you just do this? It's like, listen, like I can't just take half of a pee. Like, have you ever tried?
Yes,
have you ever tried that?
I've actually done it successfully.
You have?
Yeah, I've got little ones. Like I'll wake up in the morning, take a piss, and then my toddler is like doing something crazy. I have to stop my piss.
But yeah.
Halfway
But
through.
what I mean though is that like the time, I guess the acceleration between you stopping to pee and being able to like control it.
Oh yeah,
Like that's fine versus like a water bottle that you're filling up like freaking
yeah.
like Kern water.
You made the right choice to wait, but
Yeah.
just like so you said that was the most painful experience of your life.
It's
Like
probably one of the most. Yeah, I could feel my kidneys at that point.
God, I'm so sorry you went through that, man.
So, what's his name? I'm gonna see a urologist.
But you know what? Lewis is still here. He's still our friend. So what does that
Yeah.
tell about this guy's kind of homies?
Well,
you
you've
know?
been acting a little bit weird ever since that day. There was like my friends before that, and then after that moment, they're completely different. Yeah. Well, I wish there was like a little area we could have like scouted around to be able to like show that that's where it is. Like almost like
Yeah, or like the ability to like in that area search for bathrooms near me and then see ads on our home screen
Oh.
of bathrooms near us. And that's what geofencing technology can actually let you do.
Oh, interesting.
And Storm actually shared us a little story about geofencing and
The
what it
hustle.
is. Do you actually know what geofencing is, Lewis?
Isn't it just like this like virtual like area you can go in that will trigger certain events?
So I've heard it using that term as well, but today what we're talking about is actually just about when you're on the internet, when you're using technology and you're accessing the web and where you're accessing it from. And the reason that this is interesting is because
kind of like accessing Netflix
yeah, but from where?
from like the States or something.
Exactly, right? So what Google's actually has spoken about is that they're actually getting something called a geofence warrant. Can you try and guess what a geofence warrant is?
Like the
Some randomest
ability
thing.
to like ability to like figure out where an IP address is coming from.
Yeah, but like specifically, it's so what the government or the FBI or whoever want, what they're asking Google to do, what the police force is doing, and obviously Google has to do this because they got a geofence warrant,
Yeah.
is they're able to be like, hey, like who searched for X thing at X time in this area? And, can you just, think about this, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
who searched for places to hide after a terrorist attack?
Oh,
do you
my
know? Do you get what I'm
goodness.
saying?
Yeah.
So these types of, here's the thing. So they've increased a ton. So the increase between 2017 and 2018 was 1,500%, and now it makes up 25% of all the warrants Google receives. So a quarter of the warrants that Google's getting for information is specifically geofencing searches. And it's actually kind of a really cool, keywords are kind of a really cool way to, track down criminals, because, criminals are always searching for shit. What's the best way to just get rid of a body?
Everyone's searching for stuff though.
Or if you search someone's name too, if they're doing like research on someone before they murder them, or like a bank before it gets hit.
Literally, right? If I was planning to murder you, Lewis,
Yeah.
and I didn't know who you were, I might Google Louis Menelaus specifically. And what if you're not a famous person? If Google's like, okay, look, let me show you the 4 people in the last month that Googled Louis Menelaus in Sarnia Lambton.
But how can this be used for bad though?
It's not. It's really cool.
No, because this is what I'm talking about. Is that we were talking about Trojan horses, right?
Yeah.
This is what this is, a Trojan horse, and to get more into your life.
Well, they already have it. So that's the thing. So Google already has this because advertisers, like we use this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Right. So we know.
But that specifically was because Google was like able to do that with ads, and they didn't give you the specific data. They just gave you like
the
access
to
target the ads behind their
so
secure gateway.
I can't find out who the person is that searched for
Leewards and Vijay Balin
or energy drinks.
Yeah.
Right? But I can target men between a certain age range in the state of California that search energy drink.
Yeah.
In this area of California. And I can target people that have those searches.
For sure.
So Google already has to have all this information, but now they're being forced to give it to the government.
But
and I honestly, it's sus because the government's getting that information, but like, man, it's probably so helpful to stop bad guys.
But like, again, like think about this. It's all about, it's like slippery slope, right?
Yeah.
And it's opening a can of worms. That's why, because you're right. Google did have all this information. Facebook had the information, but the way their business work is that they're not just giving you a database dump of everything that you asked for. They're using their servers as a proxy to not let you have access to any of it, right? Just you pay for the results, not necessarily the data itself.
Yeah. So which makes sense. I don't know if most people would want like all the data on their searches.
It's like think about like how the war, like no one's hijacking planes anymore, right? But like think about what has had to change in terms of our privacy now,
like TSA
going out to flights, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, now imagine that with everything cybersecurity.
But here's the thing. I think the upside with like TSA and like the planes and stuff, like how many terrorist attacks actually happened before?
Not much.
And then how many new employees, how many hours waiting, like airport security in the States, like we had to go through it recently.
Yeah.
It's a huge process. And all of that because of 9/11, really. Like that's really what did it.
Yeah.
So I'm not complaining about it. I think safety is a huge concern, and terrorism's continually on the rise. So it's preventative, if anything. But think about all the crimes that have happened in history, like pre-Google, that could have probably been stopped if law enforcement just had like this, if this existed.
Like OJ.
Right? Yeah, like OJ. Storm's like
right
on.
The crimes are still going to happen though.
No, but here's the thing: is repeat criminals, right? Criminals that succeed at getting away with certain crimes. Like repeat criminals are actually the majority of crime, right? It's not usually first time offenders.
for minor things. Like here's the thing though: it's like
serial killers, man.
Dude, serial killers are not common.
I know they're not common, but like they're more common than 9/11.
Well, like sure, I guess.
And the upside is like productively, speaking to the GDP, speaking to people's livelihoods, the downside of like Google handing over this information doesn't affect regular people like us. Like, I'm not a terrorist, but I get randomly selected at the airport for searches.
But what I'm saying here is that this is under the fallacy that like I have nothing to hide, therefore I don't need privacy.
No.
And that's what this is about.
No.
So what you're saying here is that you have let's just say I search up how to buy weed online or something, right? Is this information now going to be sent over to Google? Because you may say, well, no, because I might have just been searching that for a joke, right? That my privacy allows me to do this and not have to give an explanation for it. However, with laws like this, it allows for a slippery slope that as soon as the TSA, or not TSA, but FBI, whatever, they have their own little jack at the back of Google's servers that's funneling all this information here. Oh, Lee's searching up how to go to weed. Now freaking officers coming to your door. It's like, hey, you haven't been going to weed stores or anything around here. That's illegal.
So here's the thing. So here's my example. So it's not the fallacy of that because I am innocent, I shouldn't be, concerned that it's a thing. Because I happily have been randomly selected at airports before for security scans. You were with me en route to Colorado where they're like, hey, like...
But why is that? Why are you
Or no,
happily?
sorry, it wasn't you. It was Jamaica with Jason.
Yeah. But why does that make you happy, though?
Because I'm not ignorant to the fact that I fit a stereotype. I'm brown, okay? That qualifies me or makes, increases my potential chance of causing terror.
Yeah.
And although I'm not happy about it, I'm also happy to participate in a process that I think will make people safe. So I have no issue with it. And what I'm saying about the security with the web is that, no, people shouldn't have access to your information simply because you're innocent. But if that's the downside of potentially making the world safer, I think it's worth it. And again, in life, there's always balances. So I think protecting more people, making it more safe, and then we lose some of our privacy. I think we don't lose enough privacy where it's, it's not like you guys can see my Google searches. It's only if my Google search aligns with the criminal's activity at a certain time and place where they might show up and say, hey, Lee, did you do it? And I'll say, no, I didn't. I have an alibi. I mean, I was like, I'm not involved in with that person. Somebody else is much more guilty.
But what I mean though is that it's not. But that's the issue, is that it's not making things much safer, really. And if it is, it's only doing it by marginal difference. That's like
where do you get that? What do you mean it's only making a marginal difference? There's a 1,700% increase year over year in the requests.
Because they found out they can get it now.
But you don't think that the people that are requesting it are like getting it because they're trying to solve crimes?
They're probably trying to solve
Do you think you're just curious?
Small bus. Like, oh,
I don't. Where are you getting that information from, though?
On the negative side, innocent people can become suspects.
Yes.
An Arizona man was wrongfully arrested for murder through one of these, and a Florida man who became a burglary suspect after he biked past a crime scene.
It's all in the it's a balance, right?
Yeah.
And I think right now we're already in a pretty bad balance. But like, it's going to get even worse with this type of stuff, because if you have warrants, I don't think because you're right. Like if you're like China, right, and you have cameras literally every single place with the most intense facial recognition, clothing, like what you're wearing.
They can't get away with shit over there.
Then you have a utopian society somehow, right? Yeah. But the issue is that that's not true. You have a surveillance state, which we already technically have. I think that I'm going to take the risk of the whatever chance it is that I'm going to be in a terrorist attack, or that a serial killer is going to murder me
in exchange for your privacy, when you when you're not even worried about what you're searching.
For not for what my privacy is specifically, but for everyone's privacy.
Okay, so my perspective is mine and everyone's privacy. If it's potentially wrongfully convicted some people, I think the good must outweigh the bad. So I think if it's not actually solving crimes like you're saying, which there's no stats in this article that speak to that. But if we were able to get data about how many crimes is solved, how many criminals are put behind bars, et cetera, how many rightful convictions, right? New information can actually help rightfully convict somebody when somebody else was a suspect that shouldn't have been. If it outweighs the bad, I'm happy to sacrifice a bit of privacy. I do think that
But that's a lot of private. But that's not a bit of privacy. That's a lot.
I mean,
and also take into
to me, it's a
consideration.
bit.
But you also have to take into consideration too that no matter what way you frame it, it's obviously going to sound. So like we can lock up 500 people, or it's like, do you want one child to be murdered, or do you want 500 people to go to prison? It's like when you frame it like that, of course, it's like save the children,
Well,
right?
I'm not trying to frame it any type of way.
I'm not saying you are, but what I mean is that the general idea is that, like, with this type of conversations, like, I have nothing to hide. Like, you know, child murderers deserve to go to prison. It's like, well, of course they do, right? But that's just not the point. It's like,
what's important about our privacy?
What's important about our privacy?
At that level? Like, I guess, yeah, like even actually, let's go far. Let's go as far as China. What's wrong with it?
What's wrong with it?
Yeah, morally.
Because you are subjected to anything the government wants you to think.
That would be more about propaganda. I mean, what's wrong?
It's not
with
about, but I mean, like,
what's wrong with them seeing you and knowing what you're doing? Like, let's just say it's like Truman Show shit. They can see everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
There's over a billion people. There's definitely not even half a billion people on staff monitoring.
Yeah.
Right. The human, like you said, it's AI that's probably monitoring most of it.
Right.
What's wrong about that?
Well, Lewis would be in jail for public urination.
Yeah, true. That's true.
But I mean, even stuff like that, right? Everything you say is going to be under scrutiny. Everything you do, the people you affiliate yourself with, are also going to be scrutinized for. And especially when we're dealing with AI, like if we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about in a surveillance state like China, maybe someone jaywalked, and like the AI saw that I passed them and I talked to them for 2 hours prior. Well, now the police are coming to my door. I'm a suspect of some sort. There's one way of doing it. You also have no privacy, so you can't.
But if the law system says that you can talk to somebody 2 hours before they jaywalk and you're innocent, what are you worried about?
What's that? Sorry.
Like if you talk to somebody,
it's not that you're innocent. It's just like now you're a suspect. Like, how do you know this person? How have you affiliated? Like, again, all this information against
that feels
you.
but I don't know if it's against you.
But it is against you, though.
Why though? Like if you talk to somebody
because if the information exists of you, then it's against you.
But like even if they don't have surveillance, they still have like.
But they do have surveillance though.
But I'm
that's
saying
difference.
if they didn't have surveillance, let's just say. So if we want to kind of like, argue both sides. So we talk about China, which is extreme. I'm not advocating. I'm just more.
Yeah.
It's more of a thought experiment. So China's like got tons and tons of surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say you do like associate with somebody like me. Let's say I'm a criminal, and they're like, oh, he works with Lewis. We know that because he works, we can see it on our cameras, and they go talk to you about me.
Mm-hmm.
What difference does it make than, 100 years ago when they said, I'm going to call Tomorrow Inc.'s office and, hey, who works there? Oh, Lewis sits next to Lee. Let me talk to Lewis. Like, how much different are we? It just seems to me like the tax-paying system is moving more efficiently because of increased surveillance.
It means
we get safety for cheaper is what I'm saying.
It's just like, I mean, of course you're going to get safety with surveillance, right? But that's the issue though, is that I believe that, and I mean, it just might be a value thing. Mm-hmm. To me, I believe in privacy. I believe that what I do in my personal life, it's my business and my business only.
Yeah.
You're also...
It's like a right thing to you. Like you believe it's like a right.
It's a right. Every human is an individual. And if everyone is like, I guess more so, it's like if you're in front of a camera, that means someone's behind a camera watching you. So let's just think philosophically speaking, what makes that person deserving to be able to look at you?
They're not behind you.
Yeah.
There's no chance they can monitor everybody one-to-one.
Oh, like a human one-to-one?
Yeah.
Well, that's for sure. But what if, like, I just wanted to, like, what if, like, I don't know, like, let's think of a scenario here of a young person.
Because, like, if you're peeing, you're in the bathroom, you have privacy. If you're peeing in public where you shouldn't be, exposing yourself to children or whatever,
sure,
then you're caught on camera.
Of course. And I mean, I'm not an advocate for peeing in public, right? Yeah. But at the same time, like, if you peed in public and you were the only person in a park, like, I mean... should you do that? No, but like at the end of the day, like, do you deserve to be like go to the cops to question?
But I don't know. I feel like if there's no one in the park and you pee in the park, like that should just legally not be a crime. You know what I mean? Like it's only if there's children nearby that should be a crime.
Well, technically, it's a crime either way.
I know.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. So
just
I think
jaywalking.
But is the issue then with surveillance or is the issue with the law system at that point?
Oh, it's surveillance for sure. It's surveillance because, realistically speaking, I don't want anyone to be peeing in parks, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I just I'm not going to. It's not like a good use of our resources to like have a like a police officer roam the parks in case someone's going to pee.
Yeah, of course. And I think you're. It's honestly, this is an ongoing debate: safety and security, and the back and forth. I think we'll move on to the next story, but I think a closing question would be, because governments and countries like ours, we all live together. We have to kind of agree to certain things. Like obviously, right now with the Roe v. Wade stuff that's happening in the States, like. Even though people disagree, that ultimately there's rules that get put in, that, and usually it's the majority rules. Would you think it'd be fair if? Because the thing is, I can't say, hey, I'm cool with not having privacy. I want more safety. Yeah. And then I give up all my privacy. Then I'm safer than you. I can't do that. The only way it works is that if everyone has given up more of their privacy to then win more safety. So would you think in a democratic society that it should be down to like a vote, like? People could vote and say, hey, listen, like you live with all of us and 9 of us want more safety in exchange of our privacy because you describe it as like a right that you believe as a core value. Would you think would that be a fair exchange, or is that stepping too far? Democratically,
democratically speaking, like, I mean, I believe in democracy 100%, even when it's not in my favor. I do think that privacy is like a huge value of mine, and that's something I would protest. That was something that probably
you would want to teach people about it. Right? Probably riot.
Like that is a huge thing of mine. But at the end of the day, as well, like I do think that
if everyone wanted it together, you would be like, okay, if everybody wants it in my country, like
it's like I'm also like what's the word, like libertarian in that sense, right? To like everyone should feel like everyone should make their own choice.
Interesting. I wonder if we'll ever come to that, you know? Yeah. Put it on the blockchain.
No, don't put it on the blockchain.
You know, speaking of crypto, I actually got the craziest story for you guys.
I see RadioShack here, and I'm really confused.
This is such a confusing headline. RadioShack is back, and it's because of Tai Lopez. And apparently the Twitter has been unhinged. This guy who is managing their Twitter is just talking the most shit on Twitter, and he's using the RadioShack handle, like the verified RadioShack handle, which got people thinking that this is either a fake account or someone's been hacked. But they're not kidding around. Like he's talking about taking edibles. He's like dissing other pages. It's like very vulgar.
Literally, if you find a squirter,
marry her. Yeah,
RadioShack.
So here's the thing, and the story gets deep. So RadioShack obviously is, you know, been around for a super long time. I think at one point they had like 6,000 stores or something across North America. So everyone knows RadioShack for consumer electronics. But brick and mortar businesses have been getting destroyed by Mr. Bezos.
Yeah.
Bezos.
You sound like Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is destroyed.
Mr. Bezos. Yeah, true. Mr. Beast is like Bezos, man. Damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bezos has like just, you know, brought Armageddon for retail, and tons of chains are going out of business. So I started digging around. Tai Lopez actually has a investment firm, and him and his business partner, they buy old brands like RadioShack, like big brands like RadioShack, and they just make them e-commerce brands. So, and they went on a tear during the pandemic when everything closed down, and they bought a bunch of brands out of bankruptcy. So a company went bankrupt, and they're like, you know, we have to close all of our stores, 600, 6,000, whatever the number is. And then they would buy the IP of their name and just take that name and build an e-commerce platform. And it's it's funny because Tai Lopez, you know, he's kind of famous. He's the whole like, just sitting here in my garage with my Lamborghini, but you know, what's more important are these books. Yeah. And a lot of people, you know, used to make claims like this guy made all of his money off of like the courses that he would sell, but he's actually been really, really involved in a lot of different businesses, and this is one of them.
I feel like he definitely has, though, but that like skyrocketed him into like
100%. He made tons of money, but he's also like
he definitely had to rent out the Lambos and stuff in order to do this. I mean, hey,
fake it till you make it.
I'm not hating the hustle. Like that's like, dude, that's probably one of the best marketing pieces of all time.
Listen to this. He's turned it into a real thing. So if you go to here, I'll send you guys the link. It's called Retail E-commerce Ventures. So this guy and his business partner, who sold a dating app for $300 million. I forget what it's called. It's like Swoosh. Let me hold on. Before I start talking like this, I should probably confirm what the business is. Zeusk. Selling Zeusk for $258 million. So that's Alex Mayer and then Tai Lopez. So these two, they've bought brands like, and I'll read them out now, Pier 1, which is like apparently a huge,
that is huge
brand, 1962, 973 locations at its peak. RadioShack,
I'm just looking at the picture of Ty Lopez and Alex Mir right now.
crazy RadioShack, had more than 34,000 associates and 4,700 operating stores and 1,500 wireless phone centers. Then Dress Barn.
Haven't heard of that one.
I mean, these are like some American brands, but like, I mean, if you look at the numbers, it's no joke. Dress Barn, 650 brick and mortar locations. I mean, in Canada, that's massive. Any company that has that much brick and mortar is massive.
Yeah.
Then you've got Steinmart, which has 300 locations. Mentor Box, which probably sounds like something that he started. My mentors.
Literally.
And then Linens and Things, 570 locations. So, man, I mean, obviously kind of funny that this guy has bought RadioShack and now made it a crypto brand. If you go to RadioShack's website, it's all like, there's like crypto stuff happening.
Linens and Things had 2.7 billion 2005 revenue. So that's the most
no
revenue
joke.
for.
No.
And here's the thing is they do that crazy revenue, but they were getting crushed on expenses because they were brick and mortar and they were dying. So he took these brands that were generating lots of revenue. I don't even want to know how much he spent on them. Like, it's probably something so cheap because they were bankrupt, they were insolvent, whatever else.
You know what this reminds me of? RadioShack. It seems like it's almost like, remember when GameStop happened?
Yeah.
Everyone thought it was like, it's like the Wall Street Bets, like the personality type that would like go on that. It's almost like they hired that to get that to happen again for RadioShack.
That's what they described. The person on Twitter is like a crypto bro.
Like, she's a 6, but the head was on 10. That's RadioShack, man. What the hell?
Man, like, are we living in a simulation? People like to say, like, ever since that, like, that collider, that collider experiment in Sweden, like, shit has been fucked. And honestly, like, I'm starting to believe that's potentially true.
Yeah.
Because it's been really weird since 2012, man.
It's honestly been very weird.
So anyway, this is a real thing. But the kind of takeaway is RadioShack, a part of many brands that have just fallen, that have been around for like, some almost 100 years.
Yeah.
How many of these have legs? And what do you think about this like business model of taking old brick and mortar brands and then bringing them back as like awesome e-commerce brands?
I think it's really smart. I mean, that's kind of what you have to do, right? I mean, there's always that awkward transition with companies, especially old companies that like try and transition into the new. Some do it really well. One that's done it really well is Little Caesars. They have an app. They rebranded everything to look a bit more modern. But this is like taking it to a whole new level. It's like
Little Caesars plug by Lewis. Surprise.
Yeah, he loved Little Caesars.
I don't
always shout him out. I was gonna say Domino's did a great job. At
Domino's did too.
And you know what, bro? You should have said Domino's.
Why?
Because they are way more innovative. We were talking about like they are delivering with robots. Like you're purposely like silent. Like this is like left wing media right now. Like Lewis is purposely choosing not to talk about the innovations Domino's is making.
Wait, sorry. Why is this like left wing media?
I'm just trying to sound like
it should be like right wing.
I'm just making a joke, like a libtard joke. Like I'm just kidding. But I guess the truth is though is like Domino's is innovating, dropping drone pizzas, robot pizza. How many robots does Little Caesars have? Why would you bring Little Caesars?
Domino's doesn't have any robots. They have like 2.
Yeah, but at least how many? There's 2 more than Little Caesars has.
No, they have way more.
They have way more.
Sorry. What's your argument again?
I'm just saying you brought up Little Caesars when you could. Wait, how can I hear that in my?
It's probably come from my mic. I probably put it loud.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead and listen to enjoy your Domino's fucking cardboard. All right.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. Oh, cool. They got robots, but their pizza still tastes like shit.
I'll let you get
Why
back.
is that, Lee? Why is that?
Pizza's better than Little Caesars.
It's not better than anything. It's literally garbage.
I disagree with that, but anyway.
It's not good. It's not good. It's literally mushy.
Storm, chime in here and tell him he's crazy that Little Caesars is not as good as Domino's.
I'm a Pizza Hut guy.
That's crazy.
No, I'm just joking. I hate Pizza Hut.
Okay, that's like the grossest one.
Yeah, for 100%.
No, Pizza Hut's pretty good.
Okay,
I never liked Pizza Hut.
I'm not listening to this.
You don't like Pizza Hut?
No one does, Lewis. You like shit.
How do I like shit?
Because you're fighting for Pizza Hut and Little Caesars right now, man.
Dude, the
Like,
fact
do you
that
know what does your life come to that you're gonna stand here in front of us and advocate for Little Caesars, and that is the bad pizza starter pack.
starter pack?
Why don't you
Bro,
toss
it's
in pizza?
Domino's. Okay, that's going too far. I would never stoop to that level. Domino's is worse than pizza. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh man,
I'm glad that you broke your arm.
I went way too far. I went way too far.
Anyway, what you were saying is that some companies are doing a great job of transitioning into the future.
Right?
So
Domino's.
we'll shelve that argument for another day.
Yeah.
But why can't companies do this themselves? Why can't they like
Because you got boomers, man. Like people are boomers.
Yeah.
They like get these
Fire
companies
boomers.
and like.
I guess you can't do that. It's ageist.
Fire.
Can you imagine? Like to innovate the company, we've decided to fire everybody over the age of 38.
Well, all these execs, like they should have known that this is gonna. Like most people have done it, right? But that's the issue, man. Is that some of these tech grows really fast. Like 1 year in tech is like
50 years
in like other industries, and so places like Sears or RadioShack, they start in like the 60s or the 80s, whatever, and then like they basically could have kept that same exact business model for like 25, 30 years. Then like 2010 came up, and like if you never innovated at that point, and I mean like innovated your company, you're gonna get freaking dusted. And that's just what happened.
You know what's crazy? You just mentioned Sears, right?
Yeah.
In furniture and appliances, they're ranked 22 in America. $500 million in e-commerce.
No, nice.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
They're still kicking.
Are they still doing the Sears catalogs? How are people getting access to that
now? How are people getting?
How are young children going to get access to that?
How are 12-year-old boys getting access to the Sears catalog? I mean, to be honest, in today's day and age, like they got iPads. Like it's really like 7-year-old boys that need access to that because.
Yeah. No, that's what I was just wondering.
When Sears goes under, we're gonna buy it, repurpose it as like an OnlyFans type website.
That's so funny. The trickle down effect,
dude. That would be the awesomest thing ever. It's like $5 a month, you get to see me mom jeans.
Yo, how about this as a business idea? How about we just take Sears and we just rewrite it?
Do
like,
that.
So what's a different way to write the word Sears? And then call it Sears Catalog and make it like a pornographic magazine.
Dude, you could literally just call it that. Like if we bought the IP.
No, I'm saying we can't. Okay, they just did 500 million last year. We're not buying Sears. But like, could we write S-E-E-R?
But how many stores? Because they might be going bankrupt. Like just because they made 500 million in revenue does not mean.
But I'm saying like I'm talking about things we could do tomorrow, guys. Like, what if we literally made SEERS Catalog? So we don't call it Sears. We call it Sears Catalog. And just make it pornographic, but not pornographic. Sorry, like softcore.
Yeah,
like mom jeans, mom bras. But like I mean, this is starting to get into like criminal shit because first we're stealing IP and now we're creating sexual material for minors. Right? I mean, you kind of walked into that one.
Speaking of minors, let's go to the rewind.
That's going into the archive, eh? That part? That was funny.
All right, on today's rewind, we are talking about Donkey Kong and Mario's birthday. So the game that launched two of the most famous video game characters in history is released. Donkey Kong was created by Nintendo, a Japanese playing card and toy company that was started in the 1800s.
That's a company that didn't fail to innovate.
No, it freaking did innovate. Who was trying to create a hit game? So they were trying to make a hit game for the North American market. Unable at the time to acquire a license to create a video game character based on the Popeye character, Nintendo decided to create their own. So that's when Donkey Kong is named after the villain, and then the hero, who was actually called Jumpman, but is renamed to Mario once the game becomes popular and Nintendo decides to use the character in future games. So Donkey Kong actually went under a long lawsuit with Universal Studios about breaking trademark laws with Donkey Kong and King Kong, which Nintendo ended up winning. And
really,
and their lawyer was something Kirby, and that's when they named the Kirby character after the lawyer's name who won that case for them.
No, you're kidding.
Did the lawyer suck? Is that why he was?
I mean, it's weird because he didn't suck, and they still named him that.
Yeah, literally.
Maybe because he's like full of air, you know. He's just like it's all bogus.
I got a question for both of you guys.
What's that?
Is Mario the most recognizable character of all time?
No.
I would say yes.
I think Ronald McDonald, I heard, was the most recognizable character.
Really?
No, I think they did some surveys and I said Mario was.
Maybe in the world. I think in America, more people know Ronald McDonald than Jesus. Is what I was told.
Well, that's what I'm saying. World.
Yeah, so in the world is
Because Ronald McDonald, Corbin Blue.
Yeah, true.
Corbin Blue.
Forgot about Corbin. You know what? I'd have to agree. I think Mario is like worldwide because the games don't really require like any language. You know, Pikachu's probably up there too.
I think so. I think that was number 2.
Shut up.
And that's like what's crazy is
They
that
own both.
Nintendo. That's what I mean is that Nintendo and
Wait,
Disney
more than
are
like
goated.
Mickey Mouse?
Yeah, more than Mickey Mouse.
Because like globally, like I don't think Disney's as big in other countries like as the game. Because the games you don't need to know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And also Disney is like Disney started in America versus Nintendo over in Japan. So like they had time to do it.
So here's the most famous. I mean, where did you get the data, Lewis, on that one?
I just read it somewhere. I
So-
don't know.
Here's one that says the most recognizable fictional characters, and it's also very different from the other article I just looked at. But it has Mario at number 1, Mickey Mouse at number 2, Batman at number 3, Pikachu at number 4. But Batman at number 3.
Batman.
The only thing is the older generation would know Mickey Mouse and not Mario at this point, right?
No, but like think about this, man. Is that Mario is like ever since he was released, he's been like everywhere. Mickey Mouse, I mean, obviously too, but I think
Some of the people that like got into Mickey Mouse are dead.
And there's the misery at Disney World.
You guys know a crazy
I
fact?
want to go on this ride.
that's,
Also,
that's,
everyone
that's
that
Lee's
created.
ability of like I don't want to go to Disney. It's like I'll go to Disney World, but I have to make sure that Mickey Mouse is dead.
You guys know a crazy fact?
What?
There are more people alive today than have ever died in history.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
I don't know if that's a real fact.
But no, that has to be real because the exponential rate that people are born.
I gotta search this up.
Do you know what's also a crazy fact? That every single year we celebrate our birthday, but we just pass our death day.
What? Oh, we don't notice it.
We don't know what the day is going to be. But one of those days is we're going to die.
So hold on. Here, oh my God. So a widely circulated rumor claimed that 75% of all people ever born are currently alive. 75? Dude, what the hell?
It's absolutely nuts. Well, Lee, I think it's time to wrap up this episode.
Is it already time to wrap
Skipping
up?
Snips.
I think, yeah, so if you're listening right now, thank you so much for listening to the Fast Forward podcast. We hope you enjoyed it. If you like this episode, make sure you go on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to this, and rate us 5 stars. That'd be very much appreciated.
Or 4 if you really feel like we suck.
Am I gonna do the meme next or?
Oh, the meme.
Lewis like
sorry-
to
sorry-
get out. He's like,
sorry
I'm
to wrap.
sweating.
It's because you put the snips
I
over
know.
top of it.
Well, because I didn't know if we were going into faster forward today or not, or
I don't think we need to.
All right.
so we'll go meme.
Meme.
Do you want to do snip? Do you want to do snips and then meme then, or do you want to like literally like take one take on the snips and then move on from it?
I mean, you know what we could do?
Let's go through snips.
We could do just like a quick take on each one.
Yeah.
Like so all right, Lewis tried to like
Debate style.
Lewis tried to like get us out of this podcast because he's sweating at his balls right now in this room. It is warm in here.
He just has to pee, man.
Yeah, he has to pee. So true. But we're gonna quickly do some snips, and we just decided off the air we're gonna cut the faster forward segment, and we're gonna just try to bring all the fun into one. Bundle all the fun into one, and that one is episode 19 of the podcast. Storm, just wreck us through these snips quick, and me and Lewis are just gonna do a quick hot take on these stories.
Twitter is working on a new feature called Notes that will allow users to post long-form content on the app as opposed to the threads format that they currently use.
It's kind of like long overdue. I feel like it's going to be like, you know how Twitter made it micro-blogging? Well, it's
Yeah.
now just blogging now.
Yeah, people take pictures of like text on their cell phones and then
Yeah.
post that picture because they don't have enough characters.
It kind of makes it more iconic, though,
Yeah, but hold on.
because it's usually apologies.
What does the notes look like? Is there a picture of the notes?
I don't think so.
I don't know. There's a nice aesthetic about how the Apple Notes looked.
I know, that's what I was saying.
Then I'm
Like,
gonna
I
miss
felt like
that.
I really feel like I could tell their apology.
I'm sure you still could do it.
And you still could. I just don't know if this was actually that necessary. I think maybe more characters would be good.
So you liked when they hopped from 140 to 280 then?
I think yep, I was a fan of that, but also I think if they want to go further than 280, they should make a read more. You know how if you post on Facebook and then your post is too long, you have to read more?
Mm.
I think they should do that to incentivize people to keep it short. Because I think incentivizing people to keep things short is why Twitter is like so cool, because it's like such condensed information.
This might be what this is right here, but looking at the GIF that they posted, it's almost like they freaking embedded Notion into it. It's pretty intense actually, which is kind of cool. But I'm really excited to see how it goes. So yeah, best of luck to Twitter. I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Quick take. So you guys are excited for this feature, or you would rather stay the way that it is?
I'm excited.
I don't use Twitter at all, so I'm gonna start, and I'll let you guys know later if I like the threads or not.
Got to get on there quick. Use threads so that before you can compare.
Yeah, get the before and after.
Number 2, a study found superworms, the larvae of darkling beetles, love to eat polyesterine. Did I say that right?
Dude, you did a pretty good job. That
Thank you.
sounds right.
The material in plastic foam, meaning that they could help eliminate trash. So specifically the trash that we can't recycle.
Dude, giant worms eating our plastic is like the sci-fi miracle we all deserve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're not giant, though.
I know they're not giant, but I'm just saying,
okay.
like, what if we GMO them? We just talked about this last time, right? Like, the whole world has all this untapped potential. On the last podcast, we talked about it in our genes, but it's just all dormant.
But
what if we get a bunch of these bugs to just start like eating all of our? What if they could eat all of our shit and turn it into like clean energy or something like that?
But what if it thinks we're shit?
Like our poop. That's what I'm
No,
talking
like
about.
us.
What do you mean?
Starts eating us.
Starts eating us. I mean, that's always going to be the risk when you start fucking with nature. But I'm just thinking, this is awesome. How can we push it further till it's ruined as a human race?
Yeah.
Like, can these darkling
Oh,
beetles?
I'm sure we'll have just throw some money at it. Someone will find a way to do it.
Yeah, but overall, I think this is sweet. Like,
I think it's sweet too.
bugs eating trash, and then they're happy, we're happy. It's like
it's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
Love it.
Number 3, we got Airbnb party ban. So they are making their party ban permanent. They tried a temporary approach. They liked how it was working, and now it's a permanent.
What does a party ban mean? You can't have a party at an Airbnb?
It's part of their code is that, yes, so that you're not supposed to throw a party at your place.
Can we like define what a party is?
Yeah.
Though?
Could you imagine the terms of service? It's like done by. It's like we consulted one of our lead experts as a frat bro. It's like no ragers, no fucking shotguns, no freaking tower dives, no fucking beer pong. You know,
it's like these are like the how you know it's a party. If you break one of these rules, and it's like Miley Cyrus too. It's like this is our U.S. board of director, Miley Cyrus. She'll tell you if it's a party in the USA or not.
Yeah, if a Britney song is on, that's an absolutely no.
They
like,
basically struggled with party houses is basically what I'm reading at a quick glance.
And that could be a huge issue because people like Airbnb, I'm gonna throw a party in and just trash the place. But here's the thing, Lewis, like when we went to Colorado, we stayed at this awesome Airbnb.
Yeah,
we got a great review when we left. We left it so immaculate. It was almost cleaner than the way that he left it. But we partied in there. Like
it's different.
But it was different. It was like 6 guys.
I think it's like if I was like, all right, I booked a place for 5 people, and then I freaking just invited the whole city.
Okay, so is that what it takes a party? Like, what
I'm assuming so.
Like, what happens if I book a big Airbnb for 30 people, and then we have a party inside? Is it like no music, no dancing? Like, is that when it becomes a party?
It's footloose in the house. Yeah, no dancing.
I think it's
Jesus Christ.
I think it's like what's it called? Like the
outside people.
Well, yeah. Like so, if they rent it out to 30 people, say, like
that's a party already.
What am I not allowed to drink? That's definitely not. I think it's like intentional use of like using a party,
like having visitors for an event.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's a good rule.
Yeah.
As long as like you can still have
it protects the owners of the house, and I don't know many places that would want that anyway.
Now is there a new service called Air Party?
Yeah.
Where we let people use their properties for parties, and that way it's part of the deal. And
start with frat dudes.
Start with the frat, because there's gonna be a void in the market now. Like, how many people party at Airbnbs and host parties at Airbnbs?
Oh, probably a ton.
So now there's like an opportunity. So
I say that's good. Good job, Airbnb.
I think it's good for somebody else that wants to take advantage of the free market.
Next party is going to be a party on Zigazoo, which the NBA just joined as an investor with Serena Williams, Jimmy Kimmel, and the D'Amelio sisters.
Of course, Jimmy Kimmel and the D'Amelio sisters. Yep. Why do they always collab on shit?
Yeah, they know social.
Yeah.
But the short form app has 1 million plus users, valued at 100 million. What do you think of social media designed for kids?
So here's the thing: 100 million with a million users. Does that mean that they're valuing each user at $100?
Suppose so.
That's crazy. I have to take a look at it because, like, I don't know.
I saw when I went on the website and looked, they were advertising kids can get NFTs on there.
Really?
Literally, I was like, oh man, that is so stupid.
I didn't see that. No.
Was it on Zigalo?
Josh Storm's like, I didn't see that. Like goes and buys some NFTs on there.
That was the other app we were looking at, was doing that.
Oh yeah, look at the
Yubo-
world's largest
Yubo.
social network and NFT educational platform. He's not capping.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
Clifford. There's freaking LeBron James, right there.
There's a Clifford the Big Red Dog NFT.
No, I don't think. I think that's just brands or something that work with it. I mean, so sorry to answer the question. I think having a kids only social media that's heavily regulated, I think that's cool. I think kids are like they're always gonna try and find a way to want to go on it. And like I'm not a parent, so I don't know. So Leah, I'd be interested to hear your opinion. But like kids under the age of 13, or 13 is kind of like a weird age, especially between the ages 10 and 13, because then people are starting to go on social media. Some people are not. I remember for me when I was that age, people were starting to get cell phones, and then other people were not getting cell phones.
Yeah.
People were joining MSN, not safe whatsoever. Lots of creepy people. So I'm for it as long as it's a good app.
My take is that no company that targets an audience that is not autonomous of their device will be successful on social media. Meaning, like, the young people got into Snapchat, young people got into Instagram. Those generations of, like, they just got phones. Like, that's maybe they're 13, they're 12, whatever. That's about as low as you can go. Trying to build a social networking app for kids that's off the main platforms, to me, is hard to be successful because it's a network effect that makes the big ones big to begin with.
Yeah.
So, for example, my kids, they're not allowed to go on YouTube, but if they did, they would use YouTube Kids, which is just the tool I use, but modified for kids. My son is on Facebook through Messenger Kids.
Yeah.
And the reason that we started doing that is because he was calling my brother, sister, mother, my partner's parents on Messenger chat on our phones.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh, there's like an app for kids? Like, that makes sense. To like, if my kid came up and was like, yo, I want to go on this social media app called Zigazoo, and I don't know it and I don't use it and trust it, I'm not downloading it on my kid's phone.
Yeah.
Some people will, but social media only really works if everyone's adapting it. Like, everyone was on
But
Facebook.
this might be a good one too here though, because if you see like that the NBA, like I mean whatever the way they market it, they have NBA, they have Clifford, they have the D'Amelio sisters, right? Like,
But it's not even cool. Like, that's the thing too, is like,
but it
that's
is pretty cool if all these people are using it though.
But if it's all just kids, like, I think when I'm a kid, I'm like, so who did you look up to when you were a kid? Like, is LeBron James posting on Zigazoo? Or, like, do I have...
Probably.
Really?
Well, like, I mean, the difference is here is that, like, we have to think of what age.
Like, is Mr. Beast
They're
posting
going to
on
have
Zigazoo?
sports shows and music. So they're going to have some like things like that on
Okay,
there, like
I mean,
content that way.
If
So-
I'm like 12 years old, then yeah, I'm going to be like, I just want on Snapchat already, or I just want on TikTok already. But if I'm like 8 years old, right, and I just know that's far away, and like I see Mr. Beast is posting, and I know like Charlie D'Amelio is posting, I might be enticed to go to that app.
So there's an age where you're just too young to care about social media. And watching my son Emerson, who's highly social, I would say it's probably around 6, 7, where you're not even thinking about it. That's before that you're not.
no,
even
but what I
thinking about
mean though is that like this is a social network, but this is how they're like getting people over there, like like kids of that age. So like,
what I'm
so
saying,
your kid will still talk to his friends, but like it's trying to get it onto this super locked up.
So
Because
what I'm saying though is that they don't even really care for something like this until they're like 7, 8, and then from there till like they're 10. That's when they can just get all the other stuff.
yeah,
So it's like a really small window where like it's really valuable for them to like see content about the D'Amelio sisters and Mr. Beast versus just like getting all the good stuff on YouTube.
yeah, but that, I mean,
It's like a small windows, but I mean, again, I could be wrong.
I think you are, because I think that, I mean, that's 3 years. That's huge for a highly monetizable audience.
Yeah, I guess it shouldn't be like I guess you're right. It's unclaimed territory. I just don't see it becoming like anywhere close to Instagram or something like that in size.
Yeah.
But you're right. Actually,
Fair.
it's still a good business. For
Yeah,
sure.
like it definitely won't be a multi-billion-dollar one.
$100
That's
per
still pretty
person
crazy though. Yeah.
is high.
All right. Speaking of being cool, would you cool down with the new treat from French's Ketchup, the Frenchsicle? It's a ketchup flavored popsicle.
Yum.
That sounds disgusting.
That sounds so good.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Okay, because ketchup, what? Like, listen, the thing is, in the summer, people are getting lots of ketchup. They're putting it on hot dogs, on hamburgers, on all sorts of other shit. why bring it to a popsicle?
Would you have a sriracha flavored popsicle?
No,
Okay, just making sure.
I like my popsicles fruity, chocolatey. You know, like that's.
It needs
those
to be a
sweet.
treat.
Yeah,
But here's the thing,
Tomato's
though.
a fruit.
Yeah, tomato is a fruit though.
yeah, but not a sweet fruit.
I mean, it's pretty sweet.
The fact that hey, tomatoes.
Ketchup is sweet.
The fact that people say, "Hey, tomato's a fruit," and that's like a did you know? That's like a fun fact. Is it a great example as to why it sucks as a fruit?
No, it's because people think it's a vegetable.
Because it tastes like one.
No.
Yes.
It does not taste like a vegetable. Here's what I'm thinking.
This guy's outlandish. You're gonna say that tomatoes are like in the same category. Put it in your parfait tomorrow. Bring
No.
tomatoes. Put
What
them
I'm
in
saying
your parfait. Put
is
your parfait
that
instead of berries.
there's too much. I think you have this notion where you think that you can't have a ketchup. Like you just feel like it's wrong, so you're not going to have it. Are you thinking critically about this, Lee?
I like when things are wrong. That's like my personality.
So then what's going on right here?
Because it just doesn't sound like a good idea.
So why does it not though?
There's so many flavors out there to grab ketchup. This is clearly
There's
a
no
novelty.
more flavors out there.
There's tons of flavors out there.
There's no more flavors you can make into popsicles or ice cream.
Have you ever had a banana berry, like banana blueberry popsicle?
Yep.
No, you haven't.
I have.
You've not
banana
had-
and blueberry.
You've not had a banana
Yes,
and
I have.
blueberry popsicle, Lewis. That is a lie.
But
I made
what?
it up. It's not a real thing.
it is a real
It
thing.
might exist
It
somewhere,
says
but
it exists somewhere.
it's not
Look it up.
mainstream. But I'm just saying you
What I'm
haven't tried
saying
it, so
is
why would you try ketchup?
You just need to try it out and be
Okay,
critical.
Here's the thing. I won't knock it till I try it. I would never bet on enjoying a ketchup flavored popsicle. Would I try one just to say, screw it, I did it? Sure. Do I love
think-
ketchup? You know I love ketchup,
Mhm.
but not as a popsicle.
I'd love to get a hot dog Lunchable with those frozen hot dogs, like the wieners, you know, and put like frozen, like just have a frozen meal out of it, you know.
Yeah, a frozen hot dog.
Bite of the popsicle, bite
But
of
you
the hot
you
dog.
want a frozen glizzy?
Frozen glizzy.
I mean, they make them. Like you can
It's
get
already sus enough to eat a glizzy. Yeah, you want to suck on one?
I want a hard one, yeah.
a hard one that you have to de-thaw in your mouth.
De-thaw a glizzy with your mouth like that. You can't make that shit up. I'm saying, Lee, be a bit more critical. I think you might like it.
I think you're saying be less critical, be more open-minded.
No, I think you're being like actually you might be right.
I'm being critical right now of what you're saying.
Yeah. Be less critical.
Be less
Be
critical.
more free.
Yeah.
We got
And you'll be more happy.
Bloody Marys and Clamato or whatever, you know, like
Yeah.
or sorry, not Clamato. What's the tomato one that we drink?
Mott's, is that what it's called?
Or is it Clamato?
Yeah, I think it's
yeah.
Clamato.
Yeah.
What's the
and
Bloody Mary in Canada? What do they call those? Caesars.
Caesars.
Caesars. There it is.
Caesars,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And you know what? And
Caesars.
it-
And pineapple on pizza.
that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I never said that. I mean, those are different things. You know, don't say
No.
pineapple on pizza and ketchup flavored popsicles are the same thing.
It's basically the same.
All right. Well, I think that outlandish statement puts a nice.
No, I think, well, I mean, you
Well,
can if you want to move on.
We got a meme, but
Oh yes, the meme.
and then we're done.
Send us the-
I know
show
you
us
guys
the
want to be
meme.
done. Yeah.
No,
Hop
it's
in
not
the-
that. I just keep forgetting about it.
we just really don't want to hear the meme. I try to finalize it. Lee tries to finalize.
So the meme is from a comic series, web comic series. You might have seen them before, Cyanide and Happiness. I'm a big, longtime fan of Cyanide and Happiness
me
comics.
too.
Read them every day on the app.
That's funny.
But we got a P1 because we mentioned P a few times for this episode. Character, we'll say orange character, says, I need a pee so bad. The green character says, how long have you been holding it in? Orange guy, my entire life. Green, wait, why? Orange guy, because I read that you should always pee after sex. So basically this guy's a virgin, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he read his whole life. He's been holding pee. He's been.
Do you know what's always
Waiting till he
crazy with
craves.
cyanide and happiness? And I don't know, maybe this seems pretty obvious, but there's 4 writers, right? There's like 4 of them.
There used to be, I don't know if one of them left or something, but like
Yeah.
when they started, yeah, it was the 4 guys.
Part of me
yeah.
just thinks because they release a new one every single day.
They do.
How did they come up with so many jokes? Part of me just thinks like, I don't know.
And
Maybe
now they do
you're-
once a week, they do a short video too, but
Yeah.
that's their job, I guess.
You're
So
a funny guy, Storm. So
could I do
maybe
one a day?
That's what I'm saying. Like, could you come up with some sort of clever joke every single day?
I do. I come up with several.
No, but what I mean is like based off of scenarios like
yeah,
this.
yeah.
You know,
No, it's hard. Yeah. I
Also,
mean, if I gave more
forcing
time
it
to
is different. For
Yeah.
some reason, like when someone's like not asking you to be funny, you can be really funny. But then when they're like, "Hey, man, make a joke," you're
Yeah.
like,
like think about like the way I think of it is like think about like all right, beef. Like if you're just funny in conversation or like I'm like making jokes based off of like what you guys are saying to me. But like then you're like, all right, write a comedy sketch. It's like, all right, what do I even freaking write about? You
I
know?
sat down for a full day because there's 4 writers, 365 days, 90 comics, roughly like a year, right? So if you just like hammer out 25 of them one week, come back in a couple months, do another 25, and then just release them throughout the year, right? That'd be maybe how you'd have to do it. I don't know.
Yeah. The thing is, like, once you get into that though, like your creativity does like a weird thing.
Yeah.
You gotta change environments,
True.
and do shrooms, and like be inspired. It's like
Yeah.
a whole like being creative for work is so different than being creative for fun.
Right.
Yeah.
As soon as you make it work, it becomes like process driven and like formulaic.
Yeah.
And it's a whole thing. But it's a great meme, Storm, and a
Great
great way to
meme.
weme the episode. Me and Lewis should never have tried to circumvent the meme.
No.
Should circumcise the meme.
Circumcise the meme. I love the meme, Storm. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we already have Lewis's outro, so we can just say peace.
Or
Peace.
You can say peace one more time.
Peace.
Like the long way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Long way? Peace out.
Yeah. Peace. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, everyone, for watching the Fast Forward podcast. If you like this episode, make sure you rate us 5 stars on wherever you're listening to this. That's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you listen to this. Make sure you check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for some short form content, as well as the video version if you're listening to this. And yeah, thank you for watching. Lee, any outing?
No, just if you want to see our faces, Storm has been putting it on YouTube, so you can see the whole podcast on YouTube.
They're handsome
there.
guys.
We're not.
Don't listen to the comments
We're-
in TikTok.
We're fat and ugly.
TikTok says we're fat and ugly. So if you guys want to see
We'll take it.
if you guys want to tell us if it's true or not, you guys can totally come and either shit on us or stroke our egos.
Yeah. Come to the comment section and say who's fat and who's ugly. Have a good day, guys.
It's like sucking in my gut right now. Have a good.
That
have a
was
good
me
one,
being
guys.
ugly.